So you're a good person to talk to about branded video.
Yes.
By which I mean long-form video advertising created by brands to reach a targeted audience. I want to ask you, what are some of the goals that you or your clients have for branded video, and are you able to share some examples?
Yeah, definitely. So our brands definitely have different goals. They really vary by client, but I think one of our brands is using their branded content to really change the perception of the brand. They're actually filming some really interesting local activations that they have and then distributing that online. And we really think by distributing that very emotional message coupled with our advertising message that they work together nicely to really help change brand perception. Our other client has a target that is very into online video and online video consumption. So it's really important that we're there from a message standpoint, but this client also has a ton of branded content. So online is really the perfect place to take advantage of targetability to very efficiently distribute this content. For example, for one of our tourism clients, they recently changed their target to a much younger demo. And one of the things that we know about this demo is that they are really information junkies. They are consuming a ton of content, but they are also contributing to content. So they are the ones that are, writing the reviews, commenting, sharing. And so that really puts kind of a filter on how we need to be talking to them, but also the content that we need to be delivering to them. So when we think about the travel space, stereotypically you think about these very, beautiful images, kind of very majestic, videos, but that's not what we are going to be delivering to our target. Our content is much more fun, it's kind of irreverent, and knowing what we know about our target, we need to engage with them in more of a unique way. And because of that, we're using things like native, we're using an expandable tablet unit, and we're using pre-roll that actually has engagement in the end card. So for example, one of the things we're doing is we're letting consumers take a selfie with the main character in our brand video, and then they can post this selfie to their social media, and that's actually working pretty well. We're getting having a lot of fun with that. But for this client, we're also working with a big travel partner to create content, and they're creating content for us that will live on this travel site, but it's also content that we can then take and put on all of our own properties, our YouTube channel, our website, all of our social platforms, but then we will also be pushing that out through our native as well as our pre-roll partners. So we are using a variety of tactics, but we wanted to make sure that everything we did could bring scale, but also more of a unique engagement opportunity, because that's really what our target expects.
What's really interesting about what you said is how audience-driven it is.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that online video brings to us, is that ability to be very true to your audience and very targetable.
Now you mentioned native, and I want to come back to that in a minute, but I also want to ask you about the creative development process, because it sounds like the creative is not one way. You're creating something that the audience can then interact with, and you're expecting them to almost complete the message among themselves. What is that creative development process like?
It's really twofold. We are pushing out a lot of creative content that the creative agency, J. Walter Thompson, creates, but we're also working with partners to create it as well. But we do want to make sure that it is very relevant to our consumer, and that they can engage with it on their terms.
Is the feedback from the user then applied to?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Yeah, definitely. And it also varies depending on, where we're distributing this content. But it is, I think the thing that is very true is the tone and the manner is, held through the creative as well as the media executions.
This can be the scariest thing for brands, is letting go of your brand a little bit to let users really interact with it. But it sounds like it's for that audience, it's the most effective.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah. So we did mention native, and native is being discussed a lot in the industry. Let me ask you, what does it mean to you, native? What does it mean to you and your clients?
I think for us, it means being definitely less disruptive. It means being very relevant and making sure that our message is surrounded by that very relevant content. But when we deliver a native advertisement, we think it's important to bring value. So a native ad should bring value, whether it's informing, educating, or just entertaining. But it really should bring some value and be very relevant to the environment in which it's in.
So for instance, for that travel client that you mentioned, how was the content presented to them natively?
I think we are using a combination of tactics. Native is absolutely one of them, and it is definitely surrounded, our advertising is surrounded by travel and kind of inspiring travel content, but because of the need for scale, we are using a variety of other tactics as well.
Great. Do you have a perspective on what constitutes effective delivery of native in a programmatic environment?
Programmatic is such the word these days. And, the fact of the matter is we have all been using data for planning and buying for years. Now, through technology, we have the luxury of having that data and being able to, make decisions in real time or near real time. And I think right now, from a native standpoint, the opportunities for programmatic are very small. We absolutely appreciate the partners that are allowing us to do that, and we are absolutely hopeful that and optimistic that will grow.
Great. This is sort of a broad question, but I'd love to hear from your perspective and maybe from your clients. What is the state of digital video advertising right now? Where do we stand, and where do you think we're going?
Everything we do as an advertiser is very much reflective of our target. And we know that video consumption is absolutely on the rise. It's on the rise everywhere, mobile, desktop, period. It is absolutely on the rise. Video advertising will respond, and it will absolutely continue as well. At this point, we definitely need to employ a variety of tactics. We definitely need pre-roll because that's where we can get scale. And that's where we can reach people in ways that we, allow them to see our video that they wouldn't see otherwise. We use native to be very, very authentic and have a very strong user experience. But then we also use social because it can bring scale and engagement as well. So I think at this point, we fully expect that it will continue to grow. There are, from an advertising standpoint, we obviously want to see more programmatic opportunities with native. We definitely, I know viewability has been discussed. That's something that is very paramount as well. But we think as it grows that the opportunities for the consumer as well as the advertiser will only continue to be to grow as well.
Thanks for your perspective, Jill. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thank you.